Most travellers come to Lombok for the surf, but very few people talk about what lies beneath the waves. A diver's playground rich with incredible marine life, and something that's becoming increasingly rare in Indonesia, empty dive sites. So, over the past week, we've been diving Lombok's reefs to find out whether this overlooked island might actually be one of Indonesia's most underrated dive destinations.
Welcome to Blue Island. This is the team. Shannon is the manager.
Hello.
Local guide Im, he's led. And Sandra. So this is the dive centre that we've been diving with, and they are located right here in the centre of Kuta Lombok.
Lombok has flown under the radar for decades, but recently the secret seems to be getting out. Many travellers are now calling Lombok the new Bali, tempting those looking for quieter beaches and a more authentic alternative to Indonesia's most commercialised hub. We actually did some exploration diving here 7 years ago. In fact, we were the first divers ever taken to a site called the Gamechanger after our friends discovered it. Returning now, the town of Kuta is almost unrecognisable. So, we came back to find out one thing. Has the underwater magic survived the hype?
So our trip to Kuta Lombok so far has been a bit of a shit show, quite literally. Cass has been she's had a bad case of Lombok belly / Bali belly, we're not really sure. It's been a good almost a week of being quite ill, and now we're on our final day here. We're going to go for some more dive.
In a place like Kuta, your choice of base can make all the difference. We stayed with the team at Blue Marlin.
You'll have to excuse the mess because they're going to tidy it up for us, but here is our room. It's massive. We're going to show you some shots from before we made a mess. We're just going to grab our stuff for the day, including some rain jackets.
If you're staying in-house, your day starts with breakfast at Marlin Cafe. And here's our first little insider tip. Even if you're not staying here, stop by for the coffee. Kuta Lombok is full of cafes now, but this one is easily our favourite. The dive day begins with a relaxed 7:45 a.m. meetup. From there, your standard dive day is a 2-tank trip, leaving Kuta at around 8 a.m.
Okay, so this is what we're travelling in. Okay, don't sit on that. Oh, well done. Well done.
But unlike many dive destinations, the adventure here starts long before you hit the water. First comes a scenic drive through Lombok's countryside, passing rice fields, small villages, and quiet stretches of road that still feel worlds away from Bali. Around 50 minutes later, you arrive at this small jetty on the south coast.
Just going to head out for our last day of diving here with Blue Marlin now. See what we go and find.
From here, you'll board either a traditional Indonesian outrigger boat or a speedboat.
Bake. Good.
The dive sites are around 30 to 45 minutes away, and the journey takes you past local fisheries and these impressive bamboo fishing rigs. It's a rugged and scenic backdrop that reminds you just how wild this part of the island still is. And the best part? There are no crowds.
We're going to go to Halfway House, Coral Garden, look at some cool corals. Maybe look out for some cool pelagics. We'll see what the ocean gives us today. Mola maybe.
Now you said it.
Yeah, why not?
Are we filming?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Jack Sparrow!
Jack Sparrow!
So we are now heading out to a dive site called Halfway House.
We're going diving with Shannon. He's been diving these waters for the last 7 years, and he's promising us some beautiful coral at Halfway House. Plus, he whispered a little bit about a mola mola. When conditions are right, you can see a mola mola here.
While Lombok may not have the same sheer biomass as Indonesia's most famous dive destinations, the diversity here is genuinely world class. Returning to the Gamechanger was one of our highlights. It's a dramatic wall that drops beyond 120 metres. The dive begins with a descent to a huge cavern at around 28 metres before ascending through a narrow chimney which leads into a second cave at about 21 metres. The currents here can definitely be challenging at times, and the occasional upwelling can bring chilly water.
You might be wondering, is diving Lombok right for me? Well, there are amazing sites here that are perfect for beginners, all the way up to advanced divers. Easy dives, muck dives for macro lovers, and deep and cave dives for those advanced adventure lovers. Diving around Lombok is really wild. Right now we're at the end of rainy season, so everything is lush and green. But most importantly for divers, you never know what you're going to see. So Lombok is not just a surfer's paradise. This is a secret dive haven.
So, if you're thinking about getting certified in Indonesia, Lombok might actually be one of the best places to start. Compared to places like Komodo or Raja Ampat, where strong currents can make dives far more demanding, Lombok sites tend to be far more manageable. That makes it a great place to build confidence and master your buoyancy without the pressure of unpredictable conditions. That said, let's be clear, Lombok is still very much a real diving environment. There are currents here, and experienced divers will definitely still find plenty to challenge them. Another standout site is Halfway House, where a beautiful coral garden sits on a rocky overhang. But the biggest surprise for us was the macro life. In fact, Lombok's macro diving rivals some of the best we've seen anywhere, even in Bali's macro haven, Tulamben. Blue Marlin's dive guides have incredibly sharp eyes underwater, and we were amazed at the number of rare critters they found on every dive. Ghost pipefish, seahorses, Coleman shrimp, juvenile yellow boxfish, rare nudibranchs, porcelain crabs, cuttlefish. They even discovered entirely new species here. It's an impressive list of marine life that rivals some of the world's most famous macro hotspots. And again, with none of the crowds. One of the highlights was this huge and slightly terrifying spearing mantis shrimp. By the way, on these dives, we were also testing out this compact travel setup of handles and torches from Orca Torch. It's a lightweight system that could be an ideal entry point for anyone interested in underwater macro photography or video. We'll share more details about that setup in a future video.
Wow, we found a giant frogfish on that dive, the second one of this trip, but particularly impressed that we found it ourselves, even though it was huge, just hanging on the edge of a sponge coral there. Really nice patterning, very cool to see. So it was a bit of a funny dive because we're using rental gear today because we want our stuff to dry out because we're flying tomorrow. So even as pros with a lot of dives under our belts, when you put on new gear that you're not used to, you really can feel like a beginner under the water. It was very amusing, but we got some great shots of some really cool stuff on that dive. So Lombok does have current, and if you're thinking of going to further afield sites like Raja Ampat or to Komodo, where we're heading next, this is a great place to get used to diving current along the walls, along the slopes, beautiful soft coral, before hitting those deep pinnacles of Komodo.
Lombok isn't only about macro life and dramatic topography. Over the past few years, dive guides and instructors here have also reported sightings of thresher sharks, mola mola, manta rays and other pelagic visitors. Its location between major ocean currents means you never quite know what might appear. That unpredictability is part of what keeps diving here exciting. It still feels wild and unexplored. If you're planning a trip here, we recommend spending 3 to 4 days diving if you're already certified. More if you're particularly interested in macro photography or video, because the empty dive sites make it an incredible place to take your time searching for critters. The value for money here is excellent, and unlike some other Indonesian destinations, there are no national park fees to pay. Just remember to bring some cash to tip your guide and boat crew. Those eagle eyes underwater and the banter on the boat are absolutely worth it. We happened to be visiting during the rainy season, which meant a few cloudy days and occasional showers. But for the best conditions, we'd recommend the dry season from around April to October. That said, the off-season does come with one major advantage: even fewer crowds. Although, to be fair, Kuta town itself was already getting pretty busy even while we were here. If you're a diver or even thinking about learning to dive, we'd absolutely recommend putting Lombok high on your list. And if you're travelling through Indonesia already, stopping here is a complete no-brainer. For us, this trip felt like rediscovering a place that's still in that rare window between undiscovered and overcrowded. But Lombok's relationship with the ocean is complex, because just a few miles down the coast, a very different and far more confronting story is unfolding. To understand the full picture, we visited the darker side of Lombok. In the next video, we're taking you inside the Tanjung Luar shark market for a raw look at Indonesia's shark trade. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and we'll see you there.